to match up against the league's best for the Edmonton Oilers tonight as they will face the Colorado Avalanche. And of course, we had to welcome in one of the best to Game Keys and Jack Michaels. Jack, thank you so much for being here.
I'm paying you well for those kind of kind
You
words.
really are, and I appreciate the direct deposit. Let's talk about the Avalanche and the fact that all season long they've been a threat. They have been excellent, and tonight we expect exactly the same.
Well, and they're still missing their captain, Gabe Landeskog, who took a slap shot from Cale Makar where no one wants to take a slap shot. So he's going to be out for another 3 weeks. And Arturi Lehkonen, who's been banged up the last couple seasons, was on pace for a career year, and he's going to be out of the lineup. And he's a fixture on the left side with Nate McKinnon in the middle. Having said that, they're still loaded. They added Nazem Kadri, who was a fixture on this team, who scored a massive goal in the Stanley Cup final and was part of that cup run in 2022. And, you know, I had a chance to talk with Eric Johnson, who played on that team prior to Edmonton's big win over Vegas. And he said, you know, on paper, you could make an argument the 26 team, this year's team, is better than the one that won the cup. And I, quite frankly, think that Colorado team that won in 2022 was the best team in the last 10 to 12 years to win a Stanley Cup, going back to the end of the Chicago dynasty.
Wow.
So we're talking about a highly talented, motivated group. They're in the cycle of thinking, you know, we let one get away. Remember, they led Dallas in Game 7 in the third period. Could have been Edmonton and Colorado in the conference final. Instead, it was the Oilers and the Stars. So there's some missed opportunities. Even though Colorado's won a cup, they're a hungry team once again. And, of course, they're facing an Edmonton club that I think is looking for a signature-type win. The Oilers have not beaten a playoff club outside their own division since mid-December when they got the road wins in Pittsburgh and Boston. So, Paige, I think a win tonight would be monumental for Edmonton's confidence as a team.
Yeah.
They got a lot of guys playing well, but for them to come in here and get a road victory against a Central Division team, a top 3 team, again, they've 6 games against the top 3 in the Central, 6 losses. That'd be a big win for the Oilers and propel them through the second half of this road trip, which won't be a cupcake either.
So I want to actually just build upon that and the opportunity that lies ahead for the Edmonton Oilers. Leon Draisaitl said sometimes it takes these big games to get you out of what he referred to, I think, as a funk, right? For the Edmonton Oilers to really get going. They gained some confidence with that victory against Vegas. Of course, you know, making some headway in the playoff race. But then you face off against the Colorado Avalanche. Is this a measuring stick? Is this an opportunity to prove to yourselves that you can be with the league's best?
Well, I think they feel that way, but they have to have the results.
Yeah.
And the other thing, Paige, is yes, that was a big win against Vegas. It kept some teams, Seattle and San Jose principally, at arm's length. But another loss or two, and you're right back in the same position you were before Vegas. Edmonton hasn't wrapped up anything yet.
No.
So this is a big win in the standings. This is a big win confidence-wise. And this is also a club that, you know, I mentioned 2022. Colorado beat Edmonton in the conference final on the way there. I think this is a team that ultimately the Oilers, in the back of their minds, feel like, you know, we need some redemption against this club at some point through this phase of our careers. You know, they got it against Vegas last year in the second round of the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
They avenged that defeat. Now a win tonight isn't gonna avenge that, but I do think it's a massive boost confidence-wise and practically, Paige. They still need it in the standings because I'm not sure about Seattle, but I feel like San Jose isn't going anywhere soon. And as I talked about, the 2 games ahead of them on this road trip aren't going to be gimmies. No. Dallas is 11-0-1 in their last 12, and St. Louis all of a sudden has won 4 in a row. And sometimes a team, you know, embraces that role of a spoiler. So don't sleep on the Blues. They're still going to be dangerous on Friday.
Well, there you have it. We are so lucky to have Jack Michaels joining us for Game Keys, and we are so lucky.
So lucky.
So lucky. Of course, that's more for the paycheck as well. We're so lucky to watch the Colorado Avalanche and the Edmonton Oilers here tonight in Colorado. We can't wait.